You wake up, the house is perfectly quiet, and before you even start the coffee maker, you sit down at the kitchen table with your blood pressure monitor. It is the most stressful part of your morning. You slide the cuff on, press the button, and wait for the tight, uncomfortable squeeze. The machine beeps, and the numbers flash, 158/92. A deep sense of defeat washes over you. You took your pill last night. You threw away the salt shaker months ago. You have been walking every afternoon. Yet, your blood pressure seems completely out of your control, especially first thing in the morning. Your doctor tells you this is just what happens as your vascular system ages, and suggests it might be time to double your medication. But what if the problem is not your age, and the solution is not a higher dose of synthetic chemicals? The brutal biological truth that the standard medical model completely ignores is that blood pressure is not a static, frozen number. It is a highly dynamic, 24-hour rhythm dictated by your hormones, your blood viscosity, and the microscopic tension inside your arteries. The reason your pressure is dangerously high in the morning is due to a mechanical failure in how you start your day. Today, we are going to completely bypass the pharmacy. We are going to decode a highly specific, three-step biological sequence that you must execute every single morning. It takes exactly 15 minutes. It requires zero equipment. But when you perform this exact sequence daily, you chemically force your blood vessels to open, you thin out your sluggish morning blood, and you set a biological anchor that keeps your blood pressure safely stabilized for the rest of the day. To understand why this daily sequence is mandatory for your aging heart, you must first understand the morning surge. While you sleep, your cardiovascular system is supposed to power down. But as you open your eyes in the morning, your brain initiates a massive survival mechanism called the cortisol awakening response. Your adrenal glands dump a heavy dose of cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream to pull you out of sleep and make you alert. In a young, healthy body, the flexible blood vessels easily absorb this hormonal shock. But in a senior body, where the arteries have stiffened with age and collagen, this morning adrenaline acts like a vice grip. It violently clamps down on your rigid blood vessels. This is why the vast majority of sudden, fatal heart attacks and strokes occur between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Your engine is being redlined before the oil has had a chance to warm up. To stop the morning surge, we must intervene the exact minute your feet hit the floor. The first step of your daily routine is mechanical, the blood dilution. For the last 8 hours, while you were sleeping, you did not drink a single drop of water. But you continued to lose moisture with every single breath you exhaled. By the time you wake up, your body is in a state of mild, stealth dehydration. When you are dehydrated, the total volume of water in your bloodstream drops. To compensate, your blood literally becomes thicker. It turns into a highly viscous, sticky sludge. Your heart has to work twice as hard to push this thick sludge through your narrowed, adrenaline-soaked arteries, driving your blood pressure dangerously high. If your first instinct is to drink a cup of caffeinated coffee, you are actively making the problem worse by forcing your kidneys to flush out even more water. Before you do anything else, you must walk to the kitchen and drink 16 ounces of room-temperature water. But you cannot just drink plain, dead, filtered tap water. You must add a small, biological catalyst, a tiny pinch of coarse Celtic sea salt, or a high-quality potassium chloride salt substitute. When you add these specific, unrefined trace minerals to the water, you change its electrical charge. The water does not just sit in your stomach. It is violently pulled directly into your bloodstream and into your dehydrated cells. Within minutes, you physically thin out the viscous sludge. You restore the sheer volume of your blood, which instantly reduces the mechanical pumping friction on your heart muscle. Now that the blood is physically thinned, we must manually force the rigid, clamped arteries to open up. This brings us to the second step of the daily routine, the nasal nitric oxide flush. You likely already know that nitric oxide is the miracle gas your body uses to force your blood vessels to dilate and drop your blood pressure. But eating a bowl of arugula or drinking beet juice takes hours to digest and convert into nitric oxide. In the morning, you do not have hours. You need an instant, systemic flush. The greatest, most concentrated reservoir of nitric oxide in the human body is not in your stomach. It is hidden deep inside your paranasal sinuses, the hollow cavities behind your cheekbones and forehead. To instantly dump this massive reserve of natural blood pressure medicine directly into your lungs and bloodstream, you must use a specific biomechanical breathing technique known in clinical therapy as the Brahmari breath, or simply the humming exhale. Sit comfortably in a chair. Close your mouth completely. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose for a count of 5. As you exhale through your nose, you must forcefully vocalize a low, vibrating hum sound, exactly like a bee buzzing. You want to feel the physical vibration deep in your nasal cavity and the roof of your mouth. Make the humming exhale last for 10 to 15 seconds. Here is the profound clinical science behind this simple sound. The physical acoustic vibration created by the humming violently shakes the air inside your sinus cavities. This vibration acts as a mechanical catalyst, causing the cells in your sinuses to instantly multiply their production of nitric oxide by up to 15 times the normal baseline amount. As you continue to hum and breathe through your nose, you pull that highly concentrated, localized gas straight down into the deep lobes of your lungs. The gas diffuses instantly into your bloodstream. It races to the smooth muscle in your arteries and biochemically commands them to violently relax. You execute this humming breath for 5 unbroken minutes. It is the absolute fastest, non-pharmaceutical method to shatter the morning adrenaline clamp and physically widen your pipes. The third and final step of this daily routine locks these biological changes into your nervous system for the next 24 hours. It is called the circadian anchor. Your cardiovascular system is heavily controlled by your circadian rhythm, the biological clock located deep inside your brain's hypothalamus. If your clock is broken, your blood pressure will remain chaotic. The only way to set this clock is through light. If you spend your morning inside a dim house, staring at artificial lights, your brain is deeply confused. It keeps your stress hormones elevated all day long because it never received the biological signal that the day has officially begun. Within 30 minutes of waking up, after you have consumed your mineral water and performed your nitric oxide breathing, you must walk outside. You do not need to exercise, and you do not need to stare directly at the sun. You simply need to expose your bare eyes, no sunglasses, no tinted windows, to natural, outdoor daylight for exactly 5 to 10 minutes. When that full-spectrum morning sunlight hits the microscopic photoreceptors in the back of your retina, it sends a high-voltage electrical signal directly to the master clock in your brain. This signal acts as a biological reset button. It commands your adrenal glands to stop the morning cortisol surge. But more importantly, it starts a strict biological countdown timer. By anchoring your clock with morning sunlight, you guarantee that your brain will naturally release melatonin and drop your core body temperature roughly 14 hours later. This ensures that when you finally go to sleep at night, your autonomic nervous system will properly downregulate, dropping your nighttime blood pressure and allowing your fragile arterial walls to actually heal and repair themselves. Lowering your blood pressure naturally is not about finding a magic, singular cure. It is about stacking biological habits that completely override the failing mechanics of an aging body. The medical system wants you to believe that you are a passive victim of your vascular system, and that your only hope is a daily handful of pills that drain your energy and damage your kidneys. But you possess the mechanical tools to take control right now. This sequence is your daily armor against the morning surge. You must commit to this 15-minute routine every single morning with the exact same discipline you use to take your medication. Wake up. Immediately thin the thick, dehydrated blood with 16 ounces of mineralized water. Shatter the adrenaline clamp by aggressively dumping nitric oxide into your bloodstream through 5 minutes of humming nasal exhalations. And finally, walk outside into the morning light to anchor your biological clock and reset your nervous system. This routine is built strictly on advanced clinical pathophysiology, chronobiology, and vascular mechanics. It is entirely for educational purposes and is never a replacement for the personalized, direct care of your physician. Do not ever abruptly stop taking your prescribed blood pressure medications. Instead, integrate this daily biological sequence, track your morning numbers diligently, and take that irrefutable data to your doctor. Show them the results of your mechanical work. Demand to be a partner in your healing, and I will see you in the next video.